She sent a text message to her sister at night. She said she was heading somewhere close. She never arrived. She never came home. And more than a year later, no one has found her. Nikki Cheng-Saelee McCain was 39 years old. She was a mother of 4. She lived in Anderson, California in Shasta County. And in May 2024, she was in the middle of something that many people never escape from, a legal case against the man she had married. A court date was coming. She was expected to be there. But Nikki disappeared before that day ever came. Her vehicle was found days later. A white sheet, confirmed blood, an odor that investigators described as overwhelming. 15 months after she vanished, her husband was arrested and charged with her murder. He pleaded not guilty. Her body has never been found. And the question that drives this case, the one prosecutors will have to answer in court, is this: can you prove someone was murdered when there is no body, when there is no confession proven at trial, and when the man charged says he did not do it? This is the story of Nikki Cheng-Saelee McCain. And it is not over yet. If cases like this matter to you, if names like Nikki's deserve to be remembered, consider staying with this channel. Stories like hers only survive when people keep listening. Nikki had people who loved her. She had sisters Kay Ford and Chloe Salee who talked to her regularly, who texted with her, who expected to hear from her every day. She was a mother of 4 children. She had a life beyond the case file. She had plans. And on the evening of May 17th, 2024, she was in contact with her sisters. She told them she was heading somewhere nearby. Some accounts say she told them she was going to her mother-in-law's property on Redding Rancheria. Another account says she texted that she was returning a vehicle to her mother-in-law's home after visiting a hospital in Redding. That was the last confirmed communication her family received from her. What happened after that is at the center of one of the most closely watched criminal cases in Shasta County in recent years. To understand where Nikki was going that night, you have to understand where she had already been. Investigators would later describe a history of alleged domestic violence between Nikki and Tyler McCain dating back to 2020. These are allegations. They were not resolved by a conviction in the data available from this case. But in December 2023, Tyler McCain was charged with 4 felony counts connected to an alleged incident involving Nikki. According to prosecutors, Nikki was found at a local hospital. A deputy reportedly observed a black eye and other facial trauma. Prosecutors said Nikki reported that Tyler had assaulted her for approximately 3 hours several days before she was found. She reportedly said she feared for her life. Tyler pleaded not guilty to those charges. A court process was underway. And Nikki, as the person who had reported what happened to her, was expected to participate in that process. A settlement conference was scheduled for June 3, 2024. Nikki never made it to that date. Prosecutors say that on the night of May 17th into the early morning hours of May 18th, 2024, Nikki was at the home she shared with Tyler at 17277 Olinda Road in Anderson, California. Authorities said witness statements and forensic data both placed her at that location with Tyler during the early morning hours. Her phone last connected to the network at her home shortly after 3 a.m. on May 18th. After that, nothing. No call, no text, no location ping, no confirmed sighting. Her family had no communication from her after that night. 4 days passed. On May 22nd, 2024, Nikki's family contacted police and reported her missing. The first report went to the Redding Police Department. 2 days later, on May 24th, the case was transferred to the Shasta County Sheriff's Office because Nikki was last confirmed in county jurisdiction. The Major Crimes Unit took over. Detectives moved quickly. That same day, they served a search warrant at Nikki and Tyler's home on Olinda Road. Various items described as having evidentiary value were seized. Nikki was not found. But something else was missing too. Her vehicle, a Chevy Avalanche, was gone. On May 25th, 2024, a citizen found Nikki's truck. It was discovered near the Shasta-Tehama County border, off Highway 36, near Begum Gorge Bridge, in a remote area outside Platina. Detectives and crime scene investigators responded and processed the vehicle. What they found inside became the foundation of the prosecution's case. According to prosecutors, when investigators approached the covered truck bed, they encountered a strong described as overwhelming odor of decomposition. Inside the truck bed, they found a white sheet. The sheet had apparent blood staining and other staining. Laboratory testing later confirmed that the blood on the sheet belonged to Nikki. Prosecutors also said that additional items found in and around the truck bed provided strong support that Tyler McCain was the primary DNA contributor on items not related to blood or bodily fluid. But Nikki herself was not found. No remains, no body, no indication of where she had gone. At the same time investigators were processing the vehicle, they were also asking the public for help. Authorities sought information about the driver of a red truck. They said this driver may have picked up an adult male in western Tehama County, near Highway 36, near Begum Gorge Bridge and our Wild Horse Ranch sometime between May 18th and May 25th, 2024. That red truck driver has not been publicly identified in the information available for this case. The adult male reportedly picked up has not been identified, and the connection to Nikki's disappearance, if there is one, remains unconfirmed. These are open threads in this case. They matter because every unconfirmed detail is also a potential point of defense. So where did this leave the court case that had originally brought Nikki to that settlement conference? On July 5th, 2020, 4 weeks after Nikki vanished, the domestic violence charges against Tyler McCain were dismissed. District Attorney Stephanie Bridget explained why. Under United States law, a person who is accused of a crime has the constitutional right to confront the witnesses who testify against them. In a domestic violence case, that typically means the victim must be present to testify. According to District Attorney Bridget, we haven't been able to locate her. She added that the dismissal preserved the ability to refile the case once Nikki was found or sufficient evidence was obtained to use Nikki's prior statements without her testimony. She said a second reason for the dismissal was this: to prove the case without Nikki present, prosecutors would first have had to prove that Tyler caused Nikki's disappearance. That was not yet a charge that had been filed. But it was a direction the investigation was moving. Months passed. The search for Nikki continued. Search and rescue teams went out. Volunteers, friends, family members, and community advocates searched drainage areas, ditches, waterways, rural properties trying to find her. She was not found. In March 2025, Tyler McCain appeared at a press conference alongside members of Nikki's family. It was the first time he had spoken publicly about her disappearance. He said, "I'm just here in support, so anything that I can do, I want to do that." He also said, "We miss you." And he added, "I haven't been in the public eye, and I haven't done very well with it. I apologize to everyone, especially my children." 4 days later, on March 14th, 2025, the Shasta County Sheriff's Office announced that the case was now being investigated as a homicide. The official statement read, "Based on evidence gathered, information learned from interviews, and the fact that none of Nikki's family members have heard from Nikki since May 18th, 2024, detectives have determined Nikki is a victim of homicide." Investigators did not publicly name a suspect at that time. They said persons of interest had been identified, but that their names were being withheld. Around the same time, detectives, FBI agents, and Homeland Security agents served another search warrant at the Anderson and Happy Valley residence. The investigation had entered a new phase. Then came a detail that prosecutors would later describe in court documents. In April 2025, Tyler McCain was reportedly stopped by law enforcement after he was observed having difficulty staying within traffic lanes and allegedly throwing objects from a vehicle. Detectives located his wallet. Inside it, according to prosecutors, was Nikki's California driver's license. The license reportedly had partial burn damage. How it got there. When it was burned. Who burned it. Why Tyler allegedly had it in his possession more than a year after she disappeared None of those questions have been answered in the information available for this case. But prosecutors listed it among the evidence against him. There was also something else. Prosecutors stated that detectives received information through a confidential informant. According to this informant, Tyler had allegedly admitted killing Nikki following another domestic violence incident on May 18, 2024. This must be stated carefully. A confidential informant's claim is not the same as a recorded confession proven in a court of law. The identity of that informant is not known from the available information. Whether the alleged statement was recorded is not known. Whether a jury will find it credible has not yet been determined. And Tyler's defense has the right to challenge it fully. This is one piece of what prosecutors describe as a layered case built over more than a year of investigation. On August 20th, 2025, detectives obtained a murder arrest warrant. At approximately 10:15 a.m., Tyler Scott McCain was arrested. Sheriff Michael L. Johnson announced, detectives recently obtained a murder arrest warrant for Tyler McCain. And today, at about 10:15 a.m., Tyler McCain was arrested. Tyler was booked into Shasta County Jail with no bail. The district attorney's office filed 12 charges. They included murder. A special allegation that the murder was committed to prevent Nikki from testifying in the domestic violence case. Refiled domestic violence charges. Possession of a firearm and ammunition while subject to a criminal protective order. Forgery and traffic-related charges. On August 22, 2025, Tyler appeared in court for arraignment. Approximately 60 supporters of Nikki attended the courthouse that day. His defense attorney, Michael Borges, entered not guilty pleas on Tyler's behalf on all charges. Judge Adam B. Ryan ordered Tyler to remain held without bail. Not guilty. Those are the words the defense entered on his behalf. They are the words that open the next chapter of this case, a trial, if it proceeds, in which everything prosecutors believe will need to be proven beyond a reasonable doubt to a jury. Nikki's sister Kay Ford spoke at the press conference after the arrest. She said, "We are still fighting for justice to be fully served, for my sister's memory to be honored, and for the healing of our family and community." She also said, "Nothing can erase the pain of losing her, but knowing that the person responsible is being held accountable allows us to move forward with hope from the bottom of our hearts." That statement reflects the family's belief. It reflects their pain. It reflects more than a year of searching and waiting and demanding answers. But in a courtroom, belief is not a verdict. Prosecutors will have to prove their case, and they will have to do it without the one thing that would answer every question Nikki's remains. There is a legal principle that matters here. California law does not require prosecutors to find a victim's body in order to prove that a murder occurred. This is sometimes called a no-body murder prosecution. It is not easy. It is not common. But it is possible. To succeed, prosecutors must convince a jury beyond any reasonable doubt that the victim is dead, that someone caused that death, and that the person on trial is the one who did it. In this case, prosecutors have described blood confirmed as Nikki's, an odor of decomposition from her vehicle, DNA evidence, a phone record placing her at home with Tyler in the early morning hours before she was never seen again, a driver's license with burn damage found allegedly in his wallet, and a claimed informant report of an admission. Tyler's defense team has entered not guilty pleas. They will challenge this evidence. That is their right. And that process, the full testing of this evidence before a jury, has not yet happened in the information available for this case. Sheriff Michael L. Johnson described what the investigation cost in time and human effort. He said, "These cases are layered, meticulous, require months of investigation, hundreds and hundreds of personnel hours. Not just from investigators, but from law enforcement, boots on the ground, from support services, from forensic evidence, all across the board." He said search and rescue teams, volunteers, friends, family members, and community advocates all contributed. They searched drainage areas, ditches, properties, rural areas, and waterways. And then he said something directed at whoever might be watching and might know something. He said, if you're watching and you have information and you know where she is, please come forward. Please bring that information forward now that this case is at the point that it is, and provide some relief for Nikki's family, and help end their agonizing pain and search, and let them lay her to rest. A reward of up to $30,000 remains available for information leading to Nikki's location. The preliminary hearing that was scheduled for September 3rd, 2025, is expected to determine whether the case proceeds to trial. The result of that hearing is not included in the information available for this case. The final legal outcome is not known. Nikki's body has not been found. Tyler McCain has pleaded not guilty. He has not been convicted. She texted her sisters on the night of May 17th. She had children waiting for her. She had a court case that needed her voice. She had people who needed her to come home. Nikki Cheng-Saelee McCain was 39 years old. She was a mother. She was a sister. She was a person with a life that extended far beyond what any case file can hold. Her family is still searching for her. Her name deserves to be remembered. And somewhere in a courtroom, in a field, in a piece of evidence not yet fully examined, the final chapter of this case is still being written.